This conference will now be recorded.
So fine. So we'll start with the vouchers. So anything you know about vouchers? Or do you have any query regarding creation of a ledger?
Excuse me, ma'am. I had
Yes,
even
ma'am.
told that to you yesterday, saying that my uh, tally isn't responding. Even today in the afternoon, I tried to do the things that you were teaching yesterday so that I could catch up with the things that you do today in the class. But still,
Okay.
it shows the same thing that tally is not responding.
Is it you do one thing, just uninstall it and reinstall it, ma?
All right, ma'am.
Okay. So I don't think so you have any query regarding last class. So today we'll start with the voucher then. So vouchers are the primary document in which complete details of accounting transactions are recorded. So by default we have a 24 predefined vouchers are there. So regarding that, some of the accounting vouchers today we are going to discuss. So as we discussed, it is a primary document in which complete details of accounting transactions are recorded. We have 24 predefined vouchers are there. Okay, any doubt regarding the meaning of a voucher? Fine then. So I'll start with tally. So open a tally prime. So of course you know the steps for creating a new company. So I'll just click on this continue in educational mode. So I'm going to create a new company here. Create a company. So I'm taking a company name MCC. So I'm adding here financial year 24 and 25. So enter. So I'm taking the address here. So state Karnataka. So the remaining things, if you want, you can provide it. Otherwise, no need. And financial year beginning from 1st April 24 and the same date only we started our business. So we start maintaining the books of accounts. So I'm taking the books beginning from 1st April 2024. So I'll just click on this accept option, or you can use the shortcut key Control A to save the company. So the next step is you'll get a company created successfully. This we call it as a company features. Okay, where so when you want to enable the GST, TDS or the other as per other functions as per the as per your requirement, you can enable it. When you enable here, so it is applicable for overall company. So I'll just make this GST currently no, and I'll just save with the control A. I don't think so you have any query regarding create company because already you have learned for the last class. Fine. So you can see here you can see the current period, current date and the name of a company and the date of last entry. We didn't pass any of the voucher here. So you can see here this is gateway of tally. Here we are going to create a ledger, stock item, the other things. Here the currencies and all those things. Here we are going to pass the entry and these are the reports. Okay. Now, first I'm going to discuss with the voucher. So before going for that, if you want to change the period, okay, you can use Alt F2. Alt F2 is the shortcut key to change the period, or on right side it is displaying the button. Just click on this. You have the option here, period. So the single line stand for Alt and double line stand for control. So I'm using here single line. F2 is nothing but Alt F2 is the shortcut key for to change the period. So I'll just click on this. So if you want, you can change the period. So I want 1st April to, otherwise first from 1st May to 31st December. So it will display only 1st May to 31st December. So like this, Alt F2 is the function key which is help us to change the period of for a company. So I'm just changing it. Alt F2. I'll take 1/4/2024 to 31st/3/2025. Now, if you want to change the date, so while passing the entries, while passing the voucher, okay, so in that time, so if you want to change the date, you can see a gateway of tally, transaction, voucher, and so it is showing me 1st May. Now I want to pass the entry for the 2nd July. So you can press F2. Can you see here? You can use the function key F2. Otherwise, you can just left click on it. You can change the date here, 2nd June or July, whichever date you want. So this is education mode. So you're getting only 3 dates here. That is 1st, 2nd and the 31st. So I'm using here F2. I'll just take 2, 4. So Alt F2 for changing the period. F2 is to changing the is used for changing the date. I don't think so. You
Ma'am,
have
can
any
you repeat once again, ma'am? I couldn't
uh,
understand.
which part, pa?
From creating the voucher,
Okay, fine. We didn't create a voucher. By default, we have a 24 predefined voucher. The thing is, so think that you have a business, so you're not passing the entries on the same date. Okay, so every time you're changing the date. To change the date while passing the entry, you have the option here, voucher. Okay, this is gateway of tally. Already you know about this. Gateway of tally, transaction, voucher. Okay, now it is showing me as a 2nd April. Okay, now I want to pass my entry for the date 31st May. So I am using here F2. You have the option here, date F2. Just click on this. Now you can type here 31st 5. Nothing but 31st May. Enter. So now we are passing the transaction for the date 31st May. Got it, or I need to explain it once?
yes, ma'am, got it, ma'am.
You got the Alt F2. No, what is the use of Alt F2?
Ma'am?
Alt F2 to change the period.
No, ma'am.
So here you can see here it is showing the data for the 24 and 25. The thing is, if you want to change the period of the company, you can use Alt F2. Go to this option. You have the option single line F2 is nothing but Alt F2. Click on this. Now you can change the period. So I am taking here 1st June to 31st Jan. So it will provide the data June to Jan. So this is the current period. So to change the period for a business or a company, so we are using Alt F2 here.
Okay, ma'am.
So these are the two things. The next thing we are going to discuss, that is F4. So F4, F5, F6 and F7. So these are the accounting voucher. So regarding this, we are going to discuss. You guys are simultaneously working with me.
Yes, ma'am.
Fine then. So the first accounting voucher that we are going to discuss now, that is contra voucher, and the function key for that is F4. Contra voucher is all about cash and bank, cash ledger and the bank ledger. So we have a three transaction here. So cash deposited into a bank, cash withdrawal from a bank when you're transferring the amount from one bank to another bank. So only these three transaction can be entered in your contra voucher. Which are the three transaction? Deposit the cash into a bank, withdrawal of a cash from a bank, transfer of a money from one bank to another bank. It is used for only cash ledger and the bank ledger. And the path for that is gateway of tally, transaction, voucher, F4. Okay, you can see here. Gateway of tally, transaction, voucher. On right side you can see you can directly press F4. Otherwise you have the option here contra on right side. Just click on this. Now we are working in a contra voucher. Do you have any query till here? The meaning of contra voucher? Fine then. So in this accounting voucher, we have a two types of change mode, that is single entry mode and double entry mode. Single entry mode is nothing but you can debit the multiple accounts but credit single account. That we call it as a single entry mode. Double entry mode is nothing but you can debit and credit multiple accounts. So you can see here, this is my contra voucher. On right side, you have the option change mode. Just click on this. Now you have the option double entry and single entry. When I select here single entry and enter, you can see here, I can credit only one account. I can debit multiple accounts here. But when I click on this change mode, I'll select a double entry. You can debit and credit multiple accounts. Any doubt regarding this single entry mode and double entry mode? Fine then. Now, sometimes in your tally prime, instead of instead of debit and credit, it is showing me as a to and buy. Can you see here? Now, I don't want to use to and buy. So, I want debit and credit while passing the entries. So, you have the option F12. So when you want to make a changes for the current screen, we'll use a configuration. The function key for that is F12. When I click on this F12, you have the option here, use credit and debit instead of to and buy during the voucher entry. So I'll make this yes and I'll save with Control A. Now instead of to and buy, it is showing me as a credit and debit. Do you have any query?
Ma'am,
Yes, pa.
what was the shortcut key used, ma'am?
F12, my right. You can use F12 directly. Otherwise, right side you have the option configuration. Right side and the last option.
Okay, ma'am.
Click
But
on
how
that.
did you get the depth?
Sorry, I didn't get you.
Yeah, ma'am. Yeah, ma'am. Tell me, ma'am.
You're telling something to me, ma?
How do you get that credit and debit one in place of to and by?
See here, press F12, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you see here, use credit and debit instead of to and by? So when it
Yes,
is
ma'am.
no, you'll get a to and by, okay? When I press
Okay, ma'am.
F12 here, even I make this yes here, and once I save this by using a control A, it will show you as a debit and the credit.
Okay, ma'am.
Sure?
Ma'am,
Yes,
excuse me,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes, ma. Yes, pa, tell me.
Ma'am, could you please
Ma'am,
explain the configuration part?
Okay, fine. Listen to me carefully. Sometimes in a configuration, so the show when you want to make a changes in the particular screen, in that time we are using the F12, that is configuration. So it is showing me as a to and by. Okay, now instead of using a to and by, I want debit and the credit. Okay, so what you have to do, you can see here, you can press payment, receipt or the journal. You'll get the option F12 here. So we are discussing contra. So I am in a contra voucher. At the end, you have the option called as F12 configuration. You can press directly F12. Otherwise, left click on this configure. Now, in a general details, the first option you have, use credit and debit instead of to and by during voucher entry. While passing the entry, instead of to and by, I want debit and a credit. So I'll make this yes. Okay. Then what is the shortcut key to save or to accept this screen? We are using Control A. So I'll just use a Control A to save it. Now instead of to and by, it is displaying debit and the credit. Got it, or I need to explain it once?
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, pa.
Ma'am, I'm getting the option of 2 credit and 1 debit, ma'am.
To credit, you do one thing. Use escape, escape, escape. Come to the gateway of Tally and enter it. Come back, enter.
Yes, ma'am.
Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Fine. We'll start with the practical part then.
Yes, ma'am.
Fine. So contra voucher is all about cash and bank deposit, withdraw, transfer of amount from one bank to another bank. Now, of course, the syntax is credit, cash and bank, debit, cash and bank. So I'll just so you can see here the practical exercise. Deposit of a cash of rupees 50,000 to ICICI Bank. So think that you have a business, you are depositing the cash of rupees 50,000 to ICICI Bank. The first transaction. Second one, your transfer of an amount of rupees 35,000 from ICICI Bank to HDFC Bank. So you're transferring the amount from ICICI Bank to HDFC Bank. Next, you're withdrawing a cash of rupees 20,000 from HDFC Bank. So you're withdrawing the cash. Next, the fourth one, deposit of a cash of rupees 20,000 equally for Canara Bank and Syndicate. Equally is nothing but 10,000 deposited into a Canara Bank and 10,000 deposited into a Syndicate Bank. Next, withdrawal of a cash of rupees 10,000 each. Each is nothing but from HDFC we are withdrawing cash of rupees 20,000. From Syndicate also we are withdrawing the cash of rupees 10,000. Do you have any query regarding any of the voucher?
No,
Fine
ma'am.
then.
Ma'am,
Yes, pa?
ma'am, what's syndicate bank?
Syndicate is a bank, ma. How we have a Canara, Axis, Karnataka, ICICI, HDFC. That is syndicate bank. It's a name of a bank. Or I need to explain that. Fine then.
No, ma'am. Understood.
Okay. So of course, you know the journal entries, no? Everyone. Fine then. So you guys are going to explain me the journal entry for this contra voucher. Deposit of a cash of rupees 50,000 to ICIC Bank. So what is the journal entry for the first transaction? Guys, just tell me a proper answer, guys. No one? So first one is cash deposit of 50,000 into ICICI Bank. So ICICI bank account debit worth rupees 50,000 to cash account worth rupees 50,000. So this is the first transaction. The second transaction, transfer of a amount of rupees 35,000 from ICICI Bank to HDFC. So debit the receiver. So HDFC Bank account debit 35,000, okay, to ICICI Bank account credit 35,000. Next, third one, withdrawal of a cash of rupees 20,000 from HDFC. So you're withdrawing, so cash is coming into the business. So cash account debit worth rupees 20,000 and to HDFC bank account 20,000. Fourth one, so deposit of a cash of rupees 20,000 equally. Equally is nothing but 10,000 for Canara Bank, 10,000 from Syndicate Bank. So Syndicate Bank account debit 10,000, Canara Bank account 10,000 to cash account 20,000. Fifth one, withdrawal of a cash of rupees 10,000 each from HDFC Bank and Syndicate Bank. So you're withdrawing it, so cash is coming into the business worth rupees 20,000. Two, you're withdrawing it from HDFC Bank account, that is 10,000 credit to Syndicate Bank account 10,000 credit. Do you have any query regarding any of the journal entries?
No, ma'am.
Fine then. So which are the ledger you are going to create? So by default we have a two ledgers, that is cash and P&L account. So the remaining all the ledgers we are going to create. So first one I am going to create HDFC bank account, Canara bank account, then HDFC bank account,
You
then
already typed HDFC Bank.
already HDFC is done. Then you can go for Canara bank
Can
account.
you also done, ma'am?
Oh, Fine. You can go for
Syndicate bank account.
ICC bank account, then syndicate bank account, then you have the other
Cash
banks.
account.
ICC cash is already there, no ma? So all these ledger comes under bank account group. So in last class, you guys have discussed with the ledger, creation of ledger. Do you have any query regarding any of the point? Fine then. So come to the gateway of tally. Okay. The person who are working simultaneously with me. Okay, let me know if you have any query. So this is gateway of tally. Master, you have the option here, create. Enter. So you have the option here, ledger. Open it. The first one I am going to create here, HDFC bank account. Enter, enter. So we have a list of 28 predefined groups. So I am using here bank accounts. So HDFC bank account, ledger comes under bank account groups. Currently no need of other details. Okay, you have the option here, accept. Just click on Control A, otherwise click on accept option. Any doubt regarding the creation of ledger?
No, ma'am.
Fine then. So SBI bank account comes under bank account. Already we have Control A. Then we have a ICIC bank account, Control A. Then you have Canara bank account, Control A. So we created the 4 bank account: ICICI, Canara, Syndicate and HDFC. So all the bank ledger comes under bank account group. Done. Fine then. I'll use escape, escape, escape. Okay. I have to wait, or you done with your creation of ledger? Yes, pa?
Ma'am, 1 second, ma'am.
Okay, pa, I'll wait for
Can
1
you
minute.
go little?
Sure.
How many ledgers to use, ma'am? And to how many ledgers to make?
The thing is depending upon your journal entries. Okay, whatever the questions you have, whatever the transaction, here you can see here in my transaction ICICI Bank is there, HDFC, then Canara, Syndicate I have. So I'm created Canara, Syndicate, HDFC and ICICI. If you have many more, you can create other ledgers also.
Ma'am, I have a question, ma'am.
Hmm?
I have a question. Ma'am, why do we prepare contra entries, ma'am?
Think that you have a business. Okay. So you're depositing the cash into a bank. So whether we are making a payment, whether we are not receiving any amount, yes or no. So contra voucher, when you're depositing the cash into a bank and withdrawing the cash from a bank, and when you have a business, of course you have more than one bank. When you're transferring the amount from one bank to another bank, so in that time we are using the contra voucher. Got it, or I need to explain it once?
Got it, ma'am.
So other people, creation of ledger
Ma'am,
is done.
excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, pa.
Ma'am, now we have created this bank account now, ma'am.
Hmm.
How can we check it out? These are the bank accounts we created now in Contra Ledger one.
See here, can you see a alter or a chart of accounts?
Yes, ma'am.
So alter is nothing but when you want to delete any ledger or when you want to alter the ledger. So in that time you can go to the alter ledger. Can you see here what all bank I have created? By default, we have a cash and P&L account. Canara is there, HDFC is there, ICICI is there, bank account, sorry, SBI we created, syndicate we have to create. Syndicate. So see here, I made a mistake. So I'm changing with the syndicate bank account comes under bank account. Got it, or I need to explain it
Okay.
once more?
Oh, got it, ma'am. And yesterday we have created certain ledgers, no, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Based on that, you said you will make, today we'll just solve on that thing.
Is it?
It should, yeah, ma'am. So you
Okay.
have
No
given
issue.
some 8 entries.
Okay.
We prepared something 8 ledgers yesterday, like Rams Capital and MN
Hmm.
Traders and all.
Hmm.
So is it should be done? It should be there in a list of ledgers or not, ma'am? Now
You created a new company or you're working in an existing company, ma'am?
I have created a new company and then it is there in that only, ma'am.
Is it? When you create a new company, okay, you have only two ledgers, that is cash and P&L account. When you're working in the existing company, that is previous company, when you're continuing with the same company, then you have those ledgers. Okay. Today, what we will do, we'll
Okay.
discuss with the contra, payment, receipt, and everything. So whatever we have discussed for the
Oh,
previous class, no, you try with those example. Is that fine for you?
yes, ma'am.
Fine then. So creation of ledger is done, everyone. Guys, at least you have to reply me whether you created or not, so I can.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, chalo. So this is gateway of tally. Now I'll come to the voucher. So of course, as we discussed, it's all about your contra voucher. So already I am in a contra voucher and I'm using the double entry. So change mode. If you have a single entry, convert it into a double entry. Right side you have. Already we have discussed with that. Now, if it is showing to and by, go to the option configure. You have the option use credit and debit instead of to and by during the voucher entry. If it is a yes, no need of it. If it is a no, make this yes and save with this. Any doubt till here?
No, ma'am.
Fine then.
Can you repeat once again, ma'am?
As we discussed, no pa. So if I want a debit and the credit, so you can go to the configure, use debit and the credit instead of to and by. Type here yes and save with this. Okay. If you are using the single entry, change mode, you have the option double entry here. Select. Okay. So I'll press F2. I'll start with from 1st May. That is 1st May. I'm passing the transaction. So I'll press F2. I'll change a date. Done everyone till here? Fine then. So always remember when you're working for a contra voucher, first you're going to credit, then you're going to debit the ledger. So what is the first transaction? Deposit of a cash of rupees 50,000 to ICICI Bank. So the transaction is ICICI Bank account debit to cash account credit worth rupees 50,000. So enter. So when you click on this enter, you can see here the whatever the ledger we created here, it is displaying for us. So we have to credit cash. So I am selecting the cash here. Enter. Worth rupees 50,000. Okay. Credit cash. Here you have credit 50,000. When you click on enter option, it is showing DR for me. So we are next step we are going to debit it. enter, enter. You'll get the option. So we are depositing the cash into a ICICI bank. Enter. So cash account credit 50,000, debit ICICI bank 50,000. Do you have any query regarding the first transaction?
Ma'am, for me, first it's showing debit, ma'am, not credit.
Press contra there, you'll get it. I think you're passing in the payment. Got it?
Ma'am.
Yes or no?
Ma'am.
So pass with that entry. And of course you know about the narration. So you can type the narration here. Being cash deposited into ICICI bank worth rupees 50,000. Okay. First transaction. Any one of you do have any query regarding the first transaction?
No, ma'am.
Fine then. So control A to save this. Second transaction. Transfer of amount of rupees 35,000 from ICICI bank to HDFC bank. So I am using here enter. First I am going to credit ICICI bank, then debit HDFC bank. So you can type or select ICICI bank 35,000, enter. So when you click on enter, you will get all these things, check range, instrument number. Currently, no need of all these things. Enter, enter, enter. Debit, enter, HDFC bank. Enter. If you get all these things, enter, enter, enter. So you can type here being amount transferred from ICICI bank to HDFC bank of rupees 35,000. Done? Fine then. I'll save with this. Control A. Next, withdrawal of a cash of rupees 20,000 from HDFC bank to withdrawal of a cash of rupees 20,000 from HDFC bank. So our journal entry is cash account debit to HDFC bank account. So in a contra voucher, first we are going to credit it, that is HDFC bank. Enter. So the amount is 20,000. Enter. We'll get all these things. Enter, enter. Debit, cash, account 20,000. So I am using here being cash withdraw from HDFC bank of rupees 20,000. Done? Guys, if you are not able to understand, let me know. I'll discuss with any of the transaction. Okay. Fine then. I'll stay with this. Fourth one. Deposit of a cash of rupees 20,000 equally. So 20,000 equally for Canara Bank and Syndicate Bank. So we are depositing equally is nothing but 10,000 to Canara Bank, 10,000 to Syndicate Bank. So the transaction is Canara Bank account debit 10,000, Syndicate Bank account debit 10,000 to cash account 20,000. Enter. If you want, you can change the date. So I'm pressing F2 here. I'll take a 25. Enter. Cash account credit 20,000. Enter. Debit. Canara Bank account 10,000. Enter. If you get all these things, enter. Enter, enter, enter. Debit. Syndicate bank account 10,000. So I'll wait for a few seconds. You pass this entry. You have any query?
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, pa.
Ma'am, I have forgotten to create Canara Bank account, but I've created the other bank account. So what do I do now, ma'am?
See here, if you forgot it, can you see a top create option?
Yes, ma'am.
You can click on it.
Okay.
Can you see a ledger creation now?
Yes, ma'am.
You can type that particular ledger name.
Okay. Okay,
Otherwise,
ma'am.
you can use directly Alt C or Control Enter for alter it. So comes under which group? Bank
Ma'am,
accounts.
but it says that it already exists.
Is it? Which bank, ma?
Yeah. Canara Bank account.
Canara Bank account. Already it is exist. It is not displaying here.
No, ma'am.
Fine then. I'll just show with you. I'll just save with this. Okay. You do one thing. Come to the alter option. Can you see a alter? Gateway of Tally alter.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you see the option called as a ledger here?
Yes, ma'am.
It is showing Canara Bank to you.
Yeah, ma'am.
Open that.
Okay.
Can you see under you have taken a capital account, some other accounts? Yes or no?
Yeah, ma'am, actually.
Change with that.
Okay, thank
Because
you, ma'am.
contra is all about cash and bank. So other ledgers will not display in your contra voucher. Remember that.
Oh,
Okay, change with that
okay,
one.
ma'am. So now if I go back to the vouchers, it will still remain, ma'am.
No, when you go to no. Again, you have to pass it from first only. Okay, like whichever the Canara Bank syndicate, those things are there. No, you have to pass it that one.
Yeah. So
You have
all the
changed here.
entries will not be saved.
All the entries are saved. When you use a control A, no.
Yeah.
Uh, Once you use a control A, every data will be saved. Okay, don't worry about
Okay,
it.
okay. Okay, ma'am.
So if
Thank
you
you.
want to check all the transaction, guys, you can see here. Can you see a day book below voucher? You can see here. Once you use a control A, all the transactions are saved. Done. Now, the fifth entry, withdrawal
Ma'am,
of a
excuse
cash.
me, ma'am.
Yes, yes, tell me,
Ma'am,
pa.
could you say the narration for the equal
The
amount?
fourth entry.
Yeah.
Ma'am,
Yes, pa, tell me, pa, you're telling something to me.
the fourth entry I did credit and debit, cash account debit to Canara Bank account, and I couldn't do another debit, ma'am. How to do that?
See,
Syndicate Bank.
the thing is here you have taken a 20,000. Just change with this amount. Make it as a 10,000. Enter. You'll get a debit option here and syndicate 10,000. Can you
No,
just
ma'am, I
change
am
with
not
this?
getting that, ma'am.
See,
Can you repeat?
You have saved that entry or you didn't?
No, ma'am, I didn't, ma'am.
So see here, I'll delete this entry. I'll just pass it once.
Okay, ma'am.
Enter. You have the option cash. Type here 20,000 credit.
Okay, ma'am.
Enter. Enter. Syndicate amount is 10,000. Type 10,000 there. Enter.
Yes, ma'am.
Enter. If you get all these things, what I told you, enter, enter,
Okay.
enter. Otherwise, directly you can use Control A for that. Then one more, it is showing me a syndicate. So what you are going to select here? Canara Bank.
Okay, ma'am. Got it, ma'am.
Fine. Other people?
Narration, ma'am.
Narration. But when you're working for a original company, narration is compulsory, guys. Currently, I'll type here being cash deposited uh, into syndicate and Canara Bank of rupees 10,000 each. Done, everyone? Fine then. I have to wait or we'll continue? Fine then,
Ma'am,
I'll
could you
save it.
wait?
Sorry, yes, pa.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, pa.
Ma'am, can you repeat the question for third entry?
Uh, Withdrawal of a cash of rupees.
Yes,
Withdrawal
ma'am.
of a cash of rupees 10,000, sorry, 20,000 from HDFC Bank.
Okay, ma'am.
So we'll save. So fine. I'll use a
Okay, ma'am.
Control A to save the entry. When you use a Control A, that entry is saved. Okay. Next. Withdrawal of a cash of rupees 10,000 each from HDFC Bank to, sorry, 10,000 each from HDFC Bank and Syndicate Bank. Here remember, here we have to credit two ledgers, debit one ledger. Remember, enter. So I'll take a here HDFC 10,000. When I click on this enter option, when I click enter, 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 can you see that it is showing me as a DR there, but I have to credit one more ledger, no? So what you are going to type there? CR. CR stand for credit. When I click on this enter option, I have to credit syndicate bank account here. Select that, type here 10,000. Enter. If you get all these things, enter, 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 debit cash account. Do you have any query regarding this transaction?
No, ma'am.
Fine, fine. You can type a being cash withdraw from HDFC and syndicate bank of rupees 10,000 each. Done?
Yes, ma'am.
Fine then. So these are the transactions which are related to your contra voucher. Deposit, withdraw, then when you're transferring the amount from one bank to another bank. So only these three transactions can be entered in your contra voucher. It's all about cash ledger and the bank ledgers. I'll just save with this. Okay. I don't think so you have any query regarding your contra voucher.
Ma'am, what if we
Yes,
want
ma'am.
to change the entries?
Go. Can you see
Like
a
after we have saved,
okay?
how do we change it again?
Can you see
Like
a
if we
day
want
book,
to
ma'am?
change any entry. Yes, ma'am.
Go to that. But it is showing only two entries. No, what is the shortcut key to change the period? Alt
Um,
F2. So change the period here. Now. So can you see whichever the entry you want. So for example, I want to make a changes in the fifth entry or the third entry. Open it. So as per your requirement, you can debit, credit, whatever as per your requirement, change it. For example, I want to ICIC. Can you see ICIC Bank now? So if you
yes,
want
ma'am.
the changes as per your requirement, you can make a changes. After making the changes, you have to use a Control A to accept that screen or to save the data, the changes whatever we made.
Okay, ma'am.
Got it? Fine.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Ma'am,
Yes, pa.
Ma'am, before when you just informed that Control A,
Hmm?
we received all these five entries in same. When we book the day, when we open the day book, it just shows
Hmm?
all these five entries, ma'am. We didn't receive how your laptop shows the two entries, ma'am.
The thing is, I have changed the date for my while passing the entry. Okay, you can see a 1st May, 2nd May, but you didn't change the date, so it is showing all the entries to you.
Okay, ma'am.
Fine.
ma'am,
Now,
how to delete an entry, ma'am?
sorry, I didn't get you, ma.
How to delete or remove an entry?
Open it. All the things, whatever the changes you want, you have to go to the delete you want, go to the day book. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm pressing here Alt F2, 1 5. Can you see? All the entries are there. So whichever you want by using a space, select it.
Ma'am, how did you press Alt?
Alt F2 for changing the period. Otherwise, can you see a right side pop-up button? Click on this. Can you see a period option?
Yes, ma'am.
Click on this. You can change the period. So you want 1/4, type there 1/4 from 31st 12. Your wish.
Ma'am, but what if I want to delete that entry?
See ya. Select a particular entry by using a space. Can you see a space? Otherwise, in your keyboard, you have a space option.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you see a delete? Alt D you can press. Can you see a delete option?
Yes, ma'am.
Click on that. When you click on this, it will ask delete the selected. When you click yes, automatically it is deleted. But you don't have
Okay,
undo
ma'am.
redo options here. Once you delete it, done. Again, you have to pass the entry when you want it back.
Okay, ma'am.
Other
Thank you.
people? Fine then. So these are the things. The next thing we are going to discuss, that is payment voucher. The payment made for any business transaction should be recorded in this voucher. Think that you have a business, you're making a payment, salary paid, rent paid, commission paid, or you're paying some discount allowed, audit fees, marketing, traveling, transportation, any of the expenses which is related to your business transaction should be recorded in this voucher. Okay. So, and the path for that is gateway of tally, transaction, voucher, F5. We'll go for that. Gateway of tally, transaction, voucher. On right side, you have the F5, that is payment. Directly you can press function key F5, otherwise left click on your payment voucher. Any doubt regarding the path of a payment voucher?
Ma'am, 1 second, can you repeat it, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. Gateway of Tally, transaction, voucher. So before we are using the contra, now I am going to discuss with the payment voucher. Fine.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Now the syntax is, okay, debit expenses ledger. Expenses ledger like salary paid, rent paid, commission paid, discount allowed, audit fees paid, marketing. When you're purchasing the furniture, the expenses ledger is debited. You're paying through a cash or bank. So this is the syntax. In a contra, we are going to credit it first, then we are going to debit it. But in a payment voucher, first you are going to debit the expenses ledger, then you are credit the cash or bank. So we are going to, any doubt you have regarding the meaning of payment voucher? Fine then. So we are going to discuss with the practical exercise on payment voucher. Paid a rent of rupees 30,000 and commission of rupees 2,000 by cash for Jainagar branch. So you think that you have a business, you are paying the rent 30,000 and commission 2,000 by issuing the by through a cash. Next, second one, furniture with a cost price 20,000. The value of a furniture is 20,000 was purchased at the cost of rupees 18,000. The value is 20,000, but you are purchasing at 18,000 by issuing the ICICI bank check. Okay. Third one, purchased shares in a Wipro at rupees 7,000 by cash and also purchased computer at rupees 20,000 through check payment, that is HDFC. Shares of Wipro you're purchasing through a cash. Computer you're purchasing to the check payment of HDFC bank account. Do you have any query regarding any of the about the entry, the journal questions? Fine then. So we are going to pass the journal entry. First one. So you're paying the rent. So rent paid account debit worth rupees 30,000. Then you have a commission paid account 2,000 to cash account. So both the things are paying through a cash. So debit all expenses and losses. So cash is going out of the business. This is the first transaction. Second one, you are purchasing the furniture. So asset is coming into the business worth rupees 20,000. While purchasing, you are making a HDFC bank check payment. HDFC or ICICI? ICICI. ICICI bank account 18,000. What about the remaining 2,000? Discount received. That is 2,000. And the last one, you can take it as shares of Wipro 7,000, computer 20,000. So shares are purchasing through a cash 7,000 and this one is HDFC bank account, that is 20,000. Any doubt regarding the journal entries of payment voucher?
Ma'am,
Ma'am, could you
Yes,
explain
Pa.
the last one?
See here, purchased shares of Wipro 7,000 by cash. So you are purchasing the shares of a Wipro by a cash, and also you are purchasing the computer. Computer is a fixed asset. When it is a goods, you can take it as a purchase. But when you are purchasing the fixed asset, you have to take it as a computer. So computer you are purchasing 20,000 through check payment. Which check? HDFC. So shares are, you can take it as a single entry. Shares account debit to cash account. Computer account debit to HDFC bank account. So I have used both the things as a compound entry. Shares of Wipro 7,000 debit because we are investing in that. Computer 20,000 because computer is coming into the business, nothing but asset is coming into the business as per the real account. Cash, you're paying through a cash, you're purchasing the shares by paying the cash worth rupees 7,000, and you're making a payment for a computer through a check payment, that is HDFC bank account. Got it, or I need to explain it once more?
Understood.
Fine.
Ma'am,
Yes, yes, Paispa, tell me.
is this ICICI bank will be credited, ma'am?
Yes, Pa. Because think that you have a business, you are purchasing the fixed asset, that is furniture. So furniture is coming into the business. So worth rupees 20,000. You are making a ICICI check payment is nothing but from ICICI bank your amount is going out of the business. So ICICI bank account credit 18,000. The value is 20,000. 18,000 you are making nothing but you are receiving a discount. No, that is worth rupees 2,000.
Okay, ma'am.
Any doubt, other people?
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, Pa.
Ma'am, if they give any randomly the journal entries, ma'am,
Hmm.
how do we know that it's contra entries or like payment entries? How do
See,
we differentiate them, ma'am?
okay. Remember what contra we have discussed. It's all about cash and bank. When you're depositing the cash into a bank, when you withdraw from a cash from a bank, when you're transferring the amount from one bank to another bank. So in that time, what
Yes.
you will do? When it is cash and bank, you'll think that this is contra. Okay,
Okay.
now you're making a payment, you're purchasing some, you're purchasing the fixed asset, or you're making a salary, rent, wages, transportation, all these things are your expenses. So you'll think these are the we
Yes.
are payment receipt. When you're receiving commission received, discount received, so these are the receipt voucher. Like this you are going to bifurcate it. Got it?
Okay, ma'am. Got it, ma'am.
Fine then.
Got it,
So
ma'am.
which are the ledger we are going to create? Remember one thing, always mention whether it is paid or received. Okay. Commission paid account, comma, rent paid account. Apa.
Mom, can you
Yes,
explain
you
the
are.
third entry?
Okay. See, what is the question, ma? You are purchasing the shares of Wipro. Okay, at rupees 7,000 by cash. So entry is shares account debit to cash account. So now the second one we are purchasing the computer at rupees 20,000 and we are issuing the HDFC check. Okay. Now the thing is
Yes.
shares of Wipro 7,000. So we are paying through a cash. So cash account credit. So we are purchasing the computer 20,000. You are making a payment through HDFC bank. Got it, or I need to explain it once?
Got it, mom. Thanks.
Yes. So you can see here commission paid, rent paid. So both the ledger comes under indirect expenses because two things are related to your office or administrative expenses. So I am taking it as a indirect expenses. Next, what else you have? Furniture. Then you have a computer. So both the things are comes under fixed asset. Next you have a shares of Wipro. Comes under investment. And discount received comes under indirect income. Any doubt regarding any of the ledger? Fine then. Use escape, escape, escape. Come to the option create ledger. So I'll go a little bit slow while creating the ledger. If you have any query, let me know. First one is commission paid. Paid account. Name of a ledger is commission paid account. Enter, enter. Comes under which group? Indirect expenses. Indirect expenses.
Ma'am,
Yes, pa?
we didn't create this commission account and all right on ledger accounts. It's not showing here.
The,
It's showing
the
error.
see here. You have a gateway of tally here. Can you see here? You are in gateway
Yes,
of tally, pa?
yes, ma'am.
Can you see a create option?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you see the ledger now?
Yes, ma'am.
Open it.
Yeah, ma'am. Got it.
So create commission paid account. Comes under which group? Indirect expenses. Done? Fine. Second one, rent paid account. Enter. So already we are in indirect expenses only. Give me one. Hello? Hama, Helma. Office nagitta. Same ma, 750. Hospital ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕಲ್ಲ. ಹೋಗ್ಬರ್ಬೇಕಲ್ಲ ಹೋಗಿ ಬಂದಿರ್ತೀವಿ. ಬಾರ್ ತಗೋ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡ್ರಿ ಈಗ ಓಪನ್ ಇರ್ತೈತಿ. ಮೊದ್ಲ ಎನ್ವಿರಾನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಭಾಳ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗೈತಿ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡ್ರಿ. ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಆಗಿಬಿಡ್ತಾರ. ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗಿ ನೀ ಹಂಗ ಅಂತಿರ್ತಾರ ಅವ್ರು. ಹೋಗಿ ಬರ್ರಿ. ಮೊದ್ಲ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಬ್ಯಾಡ್ ತಗೋ ಹೋಗಿ ಬಾಮ್ಮ. ಏನು ಈಗ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ತೋರಿಸ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಆಗೋಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತೈತಿ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಎಲ್ಲೇ ನೋಡಿಲ್ಲ. ಇವಾಗ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಾರ ಅದನ್ನ ತೊಗೊಳತ್ತಿದ್ದ ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್. ಸರಿಮ್ಮ. ಸರಿ ಹಂಗಂದ್ರೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಬರ್ರಿ ಬಿಡಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಡ್ರಿ. ಸರಿಮ್ಮ. ಏನು ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಬರ್ತೇನೆ ನಾ. Okay, so rent paid comes under indirect expenses. Save with this. Next, computer account. So comes under fixed asset. Computer account comes under fixed asset. Save with this. Then you have the option furniture comes under fixed asset. Okay. Next, what else you have? Shares of Wipro comes under investment. Computer comes under fixed asset. Furniture also fixed asset. Shares of Wipro investment. Control A. Next. Discount received account comes under indirect income. Discount received account, so comes under indirect income. Fine. Creation of ledger is done, or I need to wait for few minutes?
Done, ma'am.
Fine then.
Done, ma'am.
Control A. So after creating all the ledgers of a payment, use escape, come to gateway of tally. So voucher, gateway of tally, voucher. So press F5. Can you see a payment voucher? F5. Now, so press F2, take a date 31st 5. Take a date 31st 5. Enter. So first we are going to debit, then we are going to credit the ledger. Enter, enter,
Ma'am,
enter. Yes, ma'am.
ma'am, we can take any date.
You'll get this is the education version, no ma. You can take only
Yeah.
3 dates pa. First, second, and the 31st. But when you're working for the license version, you can take any date. Okay. So first transaction, paid rent of rupees 30,000 and commission of rupees 2,000 by cash. So rent account debit, commission account debit to cash account. So commission paid 2,000. When I click enter here, it is showing me as a CR, but I have to debit one more account. So I am typing here DR, enter, rent paid 30,000. Enter, credit, cash account 32,000.
Ma'am,
Yes, pa?
ma'am, I'm not able to enter like after the commission. It's showing me name of the cost center, and it
You
when
do
I
one thing.
press enter, yes,
You
ma'am,
do one thing. Press F11.
F11.
Can you see enable the cost center here?
Mm, no, ma'am.
So can you see show all features? F11, my F11. Show all features.
Um, ma'am, actually, in my laptop, F11 and all doesn't work.
Use function
Like
F11 and get it pa. Function F11. You have a Fn in your space windows beside window. You didn't get?
Sorry.
You have a
FN,
Fn, no?
yes, ma'am.
Press Fn
Yes,
and
ma'am.
press F11 now.
Okay.
Got it?
No, ma'am,
Excuse me,
it's not.
ma'am.
Yes, pa. Guys, you have a Fn, press that one. And you have this F1 to F11 is there, no? Press Fn and simultaneously you press with the F11. At a time you have to press it, pa.
No, ma'am, it's not working.
You are using laptop, no?
Yes, ma'am, I'm using laptop.
Can you just send me the photo of it in a group?
Uh, yeah.
Or you have other people are, you do have any query?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma.
Actually,
Same
when I
picture
choose this
we have, ma'am.
commission,
One by one, one by one. Yes, tell me, ma.
ma'am, when I choose this commission paid account, I'm
Yeah.
asked to choose the cost category and cost center, ma'am.
In last class you have discussed with the cost center and cost category, no?
Yes, ma'am.
You have to press F11, guys. So you have to enable the cost center is there, no? You have to make it as no. Then you don't get that option.
So how do I make it no, ma'am?
F11 I told you, no? F11. You have a F11 in the system?
Yes, ma'am.
Press that one, ma. You're getting this M company features.
Ma'am, I'm not getting you.
You press F11.
F11, which is available on the screen, ma'am.
Yes, pa. You have a in keyboard, you have a F11, no?
Yeah,
F11.
ma'am.
Click on that.
Did, ma'am.
You're getting this screen, ma.
No, ma'am, I'm not getting it.
You can use function. 1 minute, I'll just show it in you.
Ma'am, for me, it is showing accounting, inventory, and taxation if I press FN plus F11.
Fn is
Yeah,
nothing but
same.
you have a function key, no? That one. 1 minute, I'll just show it. Not in this. Can you see a Fn
I,
here? Here, Fn. This Fn. Not this F
yes,
and
ma'am.
N. This Fn. Press that and keep it like that. After that, press F11 now.
Got it, ma'am.
Got
That
it,
is the
ma'am.
thing, guys. Whenever you are using the function key, no, if those things are not working, always you use the Fn. Fn stand for a function. If you use like that, only these things will be available. The other special characters are there. No, those things are there. So always use a Fn if it is not working. Got it now? Okay, enable the cost center. Make it no.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, save with control. Everyone are following these steps?
Ma'am,
Amma?
under accounting, we first have enable bill wise entry and then enable cost center, right, ma'am?
Make that no, ma.
But I'm not able to click on the cost center itself. Like it's directly jumping to the enable interest calculation.
You're continuing the existing company, the previous company.
Yes, ma'am.
The thing is, yesterday, if you're continuing with the previous company, already you have worked with that. So if you have any transaction which is related to your cost center, so it will not accept it. That is the reason, guys. Okay.
Okay, okay.
So you do one thing. So you just take a photo of my screen. Okay, create a new
Okay, ma'am.
company, pass with the contra voucher and the payment voucher. Is that fine? You just go through that. Already you have a videos also. Don't worry about any of the things.
Yeah,
But
sure,
create a
ma'am.
new company in that. Make this no. Everyone.
Okay, ma'am.
Other people will continue.
Yes, ma'am.
So commission paid 2000, rent paid 30,000, credit cash account
Excuse me, ma'am.
32,000. Yes, pa.
Ma'am, after pressing Control A, we are getting
Hmm.
like blank, ma'am, not getting debit and credit.
Once you use a control A, if I use it, so that data is saved. Okay, nothing but
Yeah.
that transaction is saved.
Yes, ma'am, we are not getting debit and credit and all, ma'am.
Where you want debit and credit, pa?
Yeah, ma'am, to enter the ledger entries, ma'am.
So again enter, enter, enter. Now you are getting debit and credit.
No, ma'am.
You do one thing. Use escape, come back, pa. Come gateway, come to the gateway of tally.
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
Voucher.
Yes, ma'am.
Now you're getting debit and credit.
No, ma'am.
What you're getting?
Just blank, ma'am. Particulars, amount, everything.
Can you see a change mode option?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you see a double entry?
Yes, ma'am.
Now you got it.
Yes, ma'am. Got it. But I am getting buy and buy. You have
That,
to
as we discussed, what you are going to do? F12.
configure.
Use, yes, use debit and credit, yes, and save with this.
Yes, ma'am. Got it, ma'am.
Fine then. So enter, enter, enter. The next transaction is furniture account debit worth rupees 20,000. Enter. Credit ICICI bank account 18,000. Enter. If you get all these things, enter, enter, enter. Credit discount received 2,000. Done with the second entry.
Ma'am, one second.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. You can continue.
Fine. I'll save with the control A. Next one. Enter, enter. Debit. Shares of Wipro 7,000. Enter. I'll type here DR because I want to debit one more ledger. Enter. Computer 20,000. Enter. Cash account 7,000. Enter. Enter. HDFC bank account 20,000. Done?
Done, ma'am.
So this is all about your what? Contra and payment.
Payment
So
entries.
work on it, all the contra and the payment entries. If you have any query regarding contra and payment vouchers, let me know in the tomorrow's class. Is that fine?
Ma'am,
Yes, Pa?
ma'am, in the exam, same type of entries will be asked.
No, Pa, don't worry. The normal entries will be there. Like you're passing your in your journal entries, no salary paid account debit to cash account. Like that, they are going to
Okay.
ask. Okay. This is
And
only for
shouldn't
the
we write
practical purpose. Sorry, I didn't get
and
you.
shouldn't we write narration for all these?
No need of it. But when you're working for the original company, compulsory you have to give the narration because here we are passing two or three entries. There we have a 32, 40 or 100, 200 entries will be there. For that purpose, we are writing the narration. Okay,
Okay, ma'am.
fine then. I'll save with this. So I'll close it. And no other doubts are there, no, regarding today's class.
No, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes, pa, take care. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you, mom.
Yes.